Hey guys, Rune here. This is my first recorded battle. As you can see, it's against the Red Ogre. This was a very tough battle. He's bringing his Furo, his Kecleon, his Mega Houndoom, his Leaveney, his Cofagrigus, and his Staraptor. I'm bringing my own Mono Ghost type, Sableye, Aegis Slash, Gengar, Chandelure, my own Cofagrigus, and Dusknoir. And I know people say that Dusknoir isn't really that good competitively, but I usually use types that aren't really that popular. But as you can see, I am bringing my Aegis Slash. I kind of caved on that one. I replaced him with my Drifblim. My Drifblim I used so many times. I used the Minimize, Substitute, and what was the other one? Oh, Stockpile. But then I found out about the Evasion Clause and I replaced the Minimize. So, alright, let's begin the battle. Red Ogre is issuing a challenge. He sends out his Space Dandy, which is his Staraptor. I bring out my Sableye. Now I don't know what he's gonna do, so I quickly do the taunt, but he recalls his Pokemon. He takes out his Mega Houndoom, and of course he can't take the Will-O-Wisp because he's Fire type, obviously. He reacts to his Mega Ring, and I'm like, oh darn, I'm gonna die. I'm like thinking he's gonna use Dark Pulse and I'm gonna die. But I do taunt, thinking that he's going to do Sunny Day, raising his Fire type power. That almost does more than half. And I'm like, oh crap, I gotta switch out. So then I bring in my own Spectral, my Chandelure. He does his Flame Flower, which I predicted. I use my Shadow Ball, knowing that's not going to do much, but that's the only real move I have against him. At least I bring down his special defense. But he does Dark Pulse and totally takes me out in one hit. And I'm like, oh great, there goes my Chandelure. And he's gone. Now I'm bringing out my Dusknoir, my Grim Ghoul. Obviously he has his Whom Denight, whatever it's called. He has Dark Pulse. It does a good amount. I do a Power Up Punch, knowing that Dark is effective against, super effective against fighting. I raise my attack, and I quickly go for a Shadow Sneak, but he withdraws his Pokemon. He sends out his own Cofagrigus, his Tomb Raided. I go for the Shadow Sneak. It does a good about 35%, and obviously now I get Mummy, but that doesn't matter to me. Lefties. I knew to go for another Shadow Sneak, hoping that I can get some good damage before he takes me out. I assume he has Shadow Ball or Hex at this point, but he uses Hex. I also run Hex on mine because it also has a Will-O-Wisp. I go for another Shadow Sneak pretty soon. I'm not going way on ahead, sorry. So he withdraws. He goes back into his Space Dandy, his Staraptor. And of course, it's not effective because he's normal type. He does U-turn, which takes me out. So, but at least replace his Mummy with Reckless. Brings out his Kecleon, which I don't know what moves he uses. But I know he is normal type, I think. Okay, well he uses his Rock Slide. It doesn't do too much. I go for the Will-O-Wisp, trying to break his attack. Now he's burned and uses Rock Slide again, but this time it won't do as much. And he redraws him. He brings out his Gracie or his Levany. I think I'm saying that right. I'll go for the recover because I want him to go, and then I'd immediately go for the taunt because he might have sleep powder or something, some status move I don't want. So he can't use Sunny Day or to bring out his Houndoom and raise his power, his firepower. He brings out his Houndoom. And again, I go for the Will-O-Wisp, but it doesn't affect him because he's fire type, obviously. And he uses his Dark Pulse. And this is where we do a recover standoff, back and forth, back and forth. I use recover again. Uses Flamethrower. Then I'll use recover. Bring my health back up. And then he uses Flamethrower. At this point, I'm thinking, what is my next move? What's my next move? I need to think about how I'm going to take him down. And as I'm using Recover, I'm trying to think, what can I use? What move can I use next to take this guy down? Because he's going to take out my entire team. He was my biggest fear in this game. I really think I want to use him in my next battle, but I'm not sure. I bring up my Amenemhet. He's my favorite Egyptian pharaoh. I thought it was cool to name him that because he looks like a pharaoh. He does half. I recorded my leftovers. He uses Dark Pulse. Obviously, I think this is going to take me out. Yep. So he doesn't do that much this game, obviously. So I bring in my Dark Prestige, my Gengar. And no, it's not Mega. I promise. He goes out. He goes to a Space Dandy, but I use my Sludge Bomb. And this is when I start getting excited. I took him out in one hit. I was like, oh my goodness, I'm so happy that I took him out. He brings up his Gracie. I also use Sludge Bomb again, because Poison is super effective against grass. And takes him out again. Now, I am not running a sub-disable set. I'm running a unique set. I use Substitute, Sludge Bomb, Shadow Ball, and the next one's kind of a surprise. He uses his Rock Slide, breaks my sub because Gengar's defensive and HP stats are paper thin. I recover with my Black Sludge. And he goes for the Shadow Sneak. I should have predicted that and went directly for the Shadow Ball afterwards, but it doesn't take me out, thank goodness. I was so happy about that. But I wish I went for the Shadow Ball, but I didn't. But now I predict that he's going to do it again, because that's his best bet, that's his priority move. He goes for Shadow Sneak. I have my fingers crossed at this point. I was like, don't die, don't die, don't die. He doesn't die, thank goodness, and I hit him with my Shadow Ball. And it's super effective because of his protein. And he's down. And at this point, I am wicked stoked. I can't believe I'm actually taking out his Pokemon. And my last move is Thunderbolt. That move has won me so many battles. It takes his Fearow out in one hit. I was so surprised. And he brings out his Astounding, his Mega Houndoom. And he's obviously faster. And he takes my Gengar out. And I'm thinking, oh boy, here we go again. The next move, because I have 2 Pokemon left, I bring out my Aegislash. And I immediately go for the Shadow Sneak because I don't want him to get off any more moves. And he has Life Orb, and he takes him out. My HP is cut because of my life orb. He brings out his own Coffer his Tomb Raided. And I go for the Shadow Sneak, and he is done. And that's battle. That's game. I can't believe I actually defeated him. Alright guys, thank you. That was my first recorded battle. Subscribe and like. And I also have a Twitter account. It's RuneMaster0809. Alright, see you guys later. Bye.